All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a special edition of Saturday Night Rocket League. We're back in the booth here for the conclusion of the play-in tournament tonight. We got three banger matchups coming your way. Winner go home continues on once again. I'm Rockerman, excited to be back in the booth, joined by the good old Speed Demon. Speed, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing good. I was just telling you, it would be nice to be playing tonight, but Ember got the better hand of us on Wednesday, so here they are fighting to stay alive up against this tough Minotaurs team. It should definitely be a great matchup right here.
Oh yeah, it definitely will be a great start to the night. I can't wait to see how this one turns out. Before we dive too deep into it, got a couple of quick shout outs to give. Shout out to Alpaca coming back for 7 months, Dr. Shadow for the 11, and then Silver J coming back for 18 months. Appreciate the hype, appreciate the support on the channel tonight from you guys. So Speed, yeah, let's get into this thing. Let's kind of, before we officially start the matchup, let's set the stage here. I'm going to bring up the playoff bracket from the Prospect League here. What can you tell us about what's happened so far and what's to come?
Yeah, so the two teams we got tonight, I already mentioned Ember and Minotaurs. Ember coming off of a huge sweep against my Rooks team. I know they looked very dominant in that one. And then the Minotaurs getting here, getting their second life. The only second life we see in the postseason is in that 7-8 matchup where they did lose to the Wyverns, who looked really well. Not to say that the Minotaurs didn't look well, but that Wyverns team definitely kicked it up knowing that it was playoffs time. I do expect to see the Minotaurs putting up a little bit bigger of a fight in this one, but you know, Gladiators is what these two teams have looking down at them. Whoever can come out of a win tonight, the undefeated Gladiators at the 1 seed. So, you may squeak out one here, but you got another major matchup coming ahead of you in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, you do. And for these guys, they are not even looking at that point. They're looking at the task at hand, and hopefully, for both their sakes, they can provide us with some good content tonight here. And Speed. Well, let's do one more thing before we get into prediction. What are you looking forward to most out of out of this matchup tonight? Who do you got to watch out for on both sides?
Both sides. I'm gonna start off here with Ember. It's a two-headed monster here on Ember. I think it's how well Brindy and Izachad play together. The two have always played together. They've been best friends forever. They're a two-headed monster. They're one and the same person. So it's how well they can click going up against Help, or I know him as Zeke, here on the Minotaurs. It's going to be the battle of those three players, but looking at those two aspects of those two teams. And I'm gonna have to put my money down on here. We just played them Ember. They steamrolled us. They looked really good. I think they got the momentum coming off of a win versus the Minotaurs, who just did come off of a loss. I think this Ember team is just gonna be a little too hot to be able to beat.
Alrighty, well, last chance for everyone to get your predictions in here as we are about to get things underway here for the play-in tournament. We have got Minotaurs taking on Ember. The winner is moving on. The loser is heading home, and we're already started off here as the Minotaurs. They're in the white, gonna make a big save right there. We got Blitz, Dill, and Help. And then Ember, we got Brindy, Izachad, and Peanut, and a lot of great players here in this one to try to finish things off here, Speed Demon. And you mentioned it. This is one of these matches again. Both these teams now with a little bit of that postseason experience, so maybe a little less nerves under the belts of both these two teams.
Yeah, nerves is a huge thing. You come into playoffs, and especially this play-in tournament, right? It's not quite the playoffs. You're still only playing best of 5, which doesn't really give you any room for errors or mistakes. So having both played one, they know what it takes to get it done. They know the nerves coming out of it, and they just got one more game before, it can kind of relax a little bit. If you make one game, have one bad game in a series, it's only 1 out of the 4 that you can afford to lose. So it's definitely helpful that they got the nerves out of the way already.
Yeah, we'll have to see if there's any nerves that'll play a factor in this one. And yeah, like you mentioned, the Minotaurs, unfortunately, coming off a loss to the Wyverns on Monday, and Ember coming off that big sweep on Wednesday. So a little different routes to get here. But both these teams find themselves here now, looking to advance. As this one, nice little pass across the midfield, can be blocked away. We're about a minute and a half in so far, and Speed, something I'm seeing out of both these two teams, which is pretty impressive for the Prospect League, is these guys are finding their passing plays. I say that as they cut each other off, but they have found a couple of good passing plays so far, I feel like.
Yeah, they definitely have the team chemistry going. Both teams here, as Minotaurs looking to get that one, but Dill's unable to get the Doomsy going. But yeah, the passing plays, they have a lot of chemistry, both of these teams with all three players. So I definitely expect there to be a lot of passes. Dill looking for the double here, unable to connect. Help off the backward, looking for his own double, not able to. But yeah, Rockerman, passes is going to be huge here. I expect the the pace of play to pick up here. It's been a little slow, but they're getting the passes down. But I'm expecting the pace of play just to pick up in general. They started off a little slow, feeling each other out here.
Yeah, they have started off a little bit slow, but found a couple of plays so far. Both of them still looking for their first goal here. This one could be an opportunity. Beta trying to drop it down, but a great save comes through by Help. Able to push that one away as we still stay at a scoreless game number 1. This winner go home matchup. Peanut gonna bang this one down. Help. Gonna find a touch across, looking for Dill. Dill can't connect. Is a Chad. Take it up to the side. Gonna find some control here. Trying to send it in. Throws it off the backboard. Minotaurs gonna block that one away. Dill trying to get that touch, but didn't quite get it out there. It's gonna be blocked up in the midfield. Is a Chad. Gonna take it over the top of Blitz. Could be an opportunity, but Dill all over that one. As this one's still hanging in midfield, unable to connect his Help. Dill gonna send it off to the side here as Blitz now looking up. This one off the ceiling is a Chad trying to find another touch. Help. Gonna drop it down towards the net, but Brindy is gonna make a nice save here. Able to block that one away. This one could be a dangerous ball. Minotaurs have to race back to it. Blitz is gonna find the touch, able to get it away and still speed. A minute and a half remaining. Both these teams still tied at 0-0 as this one's fared across the net.
0-0, still a minute and a half in. Both of these teams are great teams. And Dill, right after you say that, Rockerman, is going to put the Minotaurs up 1 with a beautiful pass here by Help. Just sneaking it by, and Peanut unable to make that read. It looked like it was going to roll all the way across the backboard, and it accidentally popped out, and he was not expecting that one.
Yeah, a great read by Dill right there. Able to beat the backboard defense and throw it across the field there. And that one gonna find the back of the net. So a great start there for the Minotaurs, as they unfortunately lost the season series here. Speed. That is the other thing that's kind of interesting about this matchup, is these two are division rivals. So they've played twice already this season. Ember winning 3-2 and 3-1. So you know Minotaurs, they want to get the give back. They don't want to get beat 3 times.
They do not, and Help is going to give themselves a 2-0 lead late here in game number 1. They said, you may have beat us twice in the regular season, but it's playoff time, baby. We're out here, we're trying to win, we're trying to move on to the next round, and we're trying to end your season.
Yeah, they are trying to end the season and trying to take the lead in this season series and move on. Their all-time series is tied at 7-7, and this one pretty fired on net is the Chad, though, striking back with only 50 seconds remaining.
Nemesis veteran right there. You know, composure is what that leads down to. Is it Chad not scared being down 2 late in the game, willing to do what it takes, slow the play down a little bit, and just fire one into the open net, giving them a little life here. Still plenty of time, Rockerman. 50 seconds left, 2-1. They got a little momentum now. Stop the 2-0 bleed, and I'm excited to see how this one's gonna end.
Yeah, 40 seconds. It might just end with Dill putting another one in the net. A great answer back from him, and Minotaurs regain their 2-goal lead.
Floodgates are open, baby. They felt each other out, and now they are finding the holes. They are finding each other, and both teams now are really looking good. And I'm really excited about how this series is gonna go. Ember, I'm really expecting them to get one more and really make this a 1-goal game at least by the end of this 35 seconds.
They're going to try to find one quickly. They're going to want to force an OT in game 1. This ball off to the side. Awkward ball. Is Chad. Can't quite connect with that one. Peanut going to be over the top of 2. This ball floating. Trying to find another touch. Looking for a bump maybe. This one going to float up high. Is Chad. Got to win to this one. He does. He's going to send it in. And 19 seconds remaining. Ember find themselves down 1.
Almost like I just know these two teams. I know the caliber players. I know where their mindsets are at. And that, you know, they don't let pressure scare them too often. Any of these guys on this pitch, I've played with a lot of them through Nemesis, through other leagues, and you know they're always playoff caliber players. They know what's at stake here. Oh. But it's just gonna be a back and forth here for the last minute, Rockman, as Minotaurs are holding on to this 2-0 lead that they originally built.
Yeah, and Blitz just flipping at that one, and Peanut, he was trying to poke it around Blitz, but Blitz was not to be denied. Able to send it in, and now with only 15 seconds remaining, the Minotaurs looking to hold on to this one, but if Minotaurs can score quickly, maybe Ember can find 2 as well. This one dropped off to the side, now pushed down in the midfield, looking for a pinch maybe, as this one can be sent up and sent towards the net, but that one going to be saved away, and that is going to do it there for game number 1. It is going to go in the hands of the 8th seeded Minotaurs there, Speed, who had some great answers in this one, able to bring it back. His help is trying to find one more towards the net, not going to go, but they are going to hold on and get the win.
Yes, they are, and like I had mentioned early in this game, it started off pretty slow. Just kind of just overall slow pace. They were feeling each other out. They were looking for those passes, trying to see how the other team was going to react to those passes. And then you saw the pace of the game just immensely pick up. And when that happened, you're able to start breaking down your opponent a little more. You're able to to force these openings up, and floodgates open. 6 goals in the last minute 29, I believe, is roughly when the first goal was scored. So, if that's how they're going to play in a full game now from here on out, I'm expecting some high scoring thrillers back and forth just like this, and this is going to be a really big series.
Yeah, it is a great start for both these teams, really. Both teams coming out with 8 shots, so the offenses were there. The Minotaurs just got the better of Ember in that game number 1. So, Speed, as we push into Urban Central here for game number 2, what are you looking for out of this Ember squad to find that answer and tie the series up?
Yeah, I think Ember really needs to just put their foot on the gas a little sooner. Keep looking for those team plays. I think Brindy and Izichad need to connect more. They got really good synergy, energy together. So I'm really expecting them to be the 2 to make a lot of team plays. And then Peanut, I think Peanut needs to go for a little more solo plays and break up that team play so that they're not always expecting team passing plays, because Peanut's a really good Mickey solo player.
We'll have to see if they can find something here. This one's popped up. Here comes Peanut. Oh my goodness, trying to fire it in, but it's just off the post. He almost found that one in, but he is going to find a bump and going to leave it off for Brindy, who's going to be erased as well. This was an opportunity. Here comes Izichad with a flick, shooting it towards the net. It's off the backboard, but no one quite able to follow it. And right now, Ember starting out with some good offensive pressure early. This one sent back in by Dill. Izichad gonna find a one-touch blitz on that one. It's towards the net. Brindy, he's flipping, he's bumped. This one though is gonna be shot in by Help. He puts it in, and the Minotaurs strike first.
That's honestly super unfortunate here for Ember, as Brindy dodging that demo from Dill, still able to stay in the position, make the save, and just wasn't able to recover, and Izichad wasn't able to get back enough to be able to make that second save. But that initial save right there, that effort by Brindy, is what Ember needs here to stay alive. And I know they still let up a goal, but you can just see the fire in their eyes of how bad they want it. And they may have let up one here, Rockerman, but they're definitely not out, as we can see from that first game fighting back.
Yeah, they're not out of it quite yet here, as they find themselves down 1-0 in the series and 1-0 in this game number 2, but long way to go. 3:30 in this game number 2, as Peanut can help push this ball down. Help taking control, grabbing that boost. Peanut is trying to get in the way, but Help gonna send this one up. Dill try to find that block. Ember gonna keep it in as some bumps coming through. Blitz loses the ball, but able to find that 50. It's gonna be blocked in and kept by Peanut. Brindy now off the corner. Help gonna find that touch. Here comes Izichad, trying to take it up, looking for a teammate, but Blitz on top of that one. This one still could be floating towards the net. Could be dangerous, but Help is able to get back. Brindy with a nice little passive play shot attempt there. That was the connection we were looking for, just not quite on target this time, as Ember starting to get some more sustained pressure. Here comes Brindy. What can he do? Off the backboard, looking for something. Not a lot of boost though to work with. It's gonna be sent down. Here comes Peanut, throwing it off the backboard. Dill trying to get up to it. Peanut actually gonna find that touch again there, maybe beating out his teammate just a little bit, as they're gonna find a demo, and we're approaching halfway here in this one. A nice little flip reset, gonna push it across, but Minotaur Speed still holding on to that 1-goal lead.
Yeah, I think what I noticed here is you saw that the demo come out there from Izichad, and I really think that that's what they need to do more. That's how they got us. They got us uncomfortable. They bumped us a lot. Didn't get a lot of demos, but they were just constantly bumping us coming from behind. And I think they need to try to implement that a little more, especially on that play where Peanut went for that double. I would have loved to see him leave that for, I believe, Izzachad, who was coming on, and him go for that guy that was just sitting duck in net, go for that bump, and let Izzachad just put it on an empty net.
Yeah, this one could be shot on the net. On the other side, Health is gonna put in another one, and it's 2-0 now in favor of the Minotaurs.
Yeah, and that's just a great shot right there by Help, right under the crossbar. 65 miles per hour. That's pretty strong, hard shot, and Brindy not having no momentum, trying to just get up to that, and that's a very hard shot to save.
Yeah, that power was very impressive there, and it's a 2-0 lead now for the Minotaurs as they're looking to go up 2-0 in the series as well here as a demo come through. Another one traded on the other side there by the Minotaurs, able to send this one down, but it's going to find the backboard here as Peanut is going to clear this one out. Not a lot of boost help and take control of this one up high, looking for something, finding one more touch ball in the midfield. Dill off the backboard, looking for the double tap. Oh, he puts it down, he puts it in. Oh my goodness, Dill.
Dill, the man of the hour right now. We saw him miss a double tap earlier. This is almost the exact same placement, and he was able to put this one away. Beautiful shot there. Minotaurs, hungry, thirsty, up 3-0 here in game number 2, trying to solidify that 2-0 lead and be on match point.
What was this one? It could be a big mistake, but Peanut can't quite put it in. The Minotaurs are lucky to get away with that one, but they do have some breathing room as Dill is up. Oh my goodness, they're trying some style plays on him right here. Speed is, my goodness. And well, if that tells you something about these two teams, the Minotaurs are most definitely feeling themselves right now as here comes Help put another one home.
Now, Help gets the goal here, but that passing play that could have been from Help to Dill trying to hit back to front of Help's car, that would have been insane. And that would have honestly killed the vibes of Ember. I know they're down 4-0 right now, and they still let in another goal, but I think that would have been, a huge demoralizer to let up a huge passing play like that. They're still in it. They got to be disruptive, like I said earlier. They got to get some bumps in. They got to take control of this, and they got to work together. They're kind of doubling a little bit on defensive end, and it's not their typical play style, so it's kind of weird to see, but they definitely have what it takes, and they're a team that could easily put off a reverse sweep.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, these guys won earlier both times in the regular season. Did Ember. First one 3-1 way early in the season, and then just in the last 2 weeks of the regular season, they won in game 5. But the Minotaurs, like you mentioned, they are back with a vengeance against their division rival, trying to close it out. But this one is an open net, and the momentum could be found there as Peanut is going to send it in.
Great momentum here. End of game number 2. Get a goal back, get a little momentum, feel good about yourself. Still got plenty of Rocket League left. You just got to play one game at a time from here on out with the momentum. The biggest question is going into this game 3, Rocker Man, is are they going to make a change?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Will there be a change with either the roster or with their play style here? Is they're looking for one more. Not quite going to find it, though. But yes, Speed, it's all on Ember at this point. Minotaurs are playing exquisitely so far. A 4-1 victory there. With a big performance there from Help with the hat trick. And yes, Speed, it looks like we're seeing one person leave the lobby here. But what do you need to see here now? Again, it's on Ember to try to pull back what is a improbable attempt, but we have seen it already in the play-in tournament. Get that reverse sweep.
Yeah. I think they need to be disruptive. I think they kind of need to play. I don't know. One thing I worked on my team with is playing slow and smooth is like playing fast. So I think they need to just take a deep breath. They really need to focus on what's the task at hand is, and they need to try to disrupt this Minotaurs offense. We see as the Chad did leave, he did come back, and Brindy left. So we're waiting to see who's going to be, the third man coming back in for Ember. I know they have C-Wink sitting on the bench, who is, a very high caliber player as well. So very interesting to see what they're going to pull out here for this lineup.
Yeah, no, it is going to be interesting as we're going to have to see. But yeah, it is a possibility. That is the nice thing about the 4-man rosters. Like you mentioned, you got C-Wink, the highest MR player. He's available, and we've seen him perform as well at times. So Speed, that's probably what they're discussing over here is who they want to put in. Do you stick with that roster or do you try to make a change? And I know we've seen it, like I mentioned, we've seen reverse sweeps before. We saw Venom, who we'll see in the next matchup, pull off the reverse sweep on Wednesday. But we've seen it happen before in the play-in tournament and in best of fives before. Sometimes that's all you need is just switch one player in the roster, and all of a sudden things start clicking for you.
Yeah, I think they really just need to take it, one play at a time. Forget forget the semantics at this point, right? Pretend it's another Rocket League game. We see teams all the time in the regular season, they pull off reverse sweeps. Now, what makes it so rare in the playoffs is because of how much is at stake, and teams, I think they try to do too much. So I think they just need to just play Rocket League. It's just a game at the end of the day. I think they need to take the semantics out of it, and I think they'll be just fine. This team's a great team. We saw how dominant they were on Wednesday. They took my Rooks team, who was 0-7 to start and won 7 out of the last 10 games of the season, and really turned the season around, and they made us look silly. So they have what it takes. They've already beat this team twice this year with this same exact rosters too, because like you said, they're divisional rivals. They just played each other in the last 2 weeks after roster locks had already happened. So they have what it takes. They just got to figure it out. And I don't know what's going on here. Still waiting on one player from Ember to show up.
Yeah, it looks like we're just waiting on them. But yeah, they do have a couple minutes to try to find that player. And I thought it was just going to be a quick roster swap, but maybe it's something else in regards to Ember. But they do have that 7 minute window there to try to make something happen. So we'll have to see. Looks like he is coming back. Looks like it may have been actually a connection thing. So. And it does look like, looking at things, it does look like C-Wink is unavailable tonight. So they're going to be rocking with these three for the rest of the way. So Speed, they're going to stick with it, and they're going to have to try to take it back one game at a time.
Yep, they're sticking with it. I know they can do it. Knowing Brindy and knowing how well they played the other day, I didn't think they would bring in C-Wink, even though he is a top player. He's still new to their roster. They kind of had that MMR space. They picked him up, so they had it fourth in case there was any issues. I know C-Wink's schedule's a little crazy this year. He's off trying to be a firefighter and, make a change in the world. So hats off to him. But, Ember, I think, really, they have what it takes. Minotaurs, they can't let Ember get under their skin. I feel like Ember's going to come out. They're really going to try to be disruptive, get bump heavy, get in their face, get in their way. So Minotaurs, they just have to play the game they've been playing, and they'll be fine. And Ember needs to just gas on the pedal, play smooth, play smart, and forget about the semantics. And I think we'll see a really close game here.
Well, we're going to have to see. The hopes are on the line here for Ember now, as it is win or go home here. If they cannot win the next games, oh my goodness, Peanut is going to take it down, and he's going to take it in, and well, that is one way to come back here in game 3.
There it is. That's what they needed. They needed a fresh, good early start. They got a little extra break there with the DC, and maybe that helped their momentum, able to calm down, just like I said, and early 8 seconds, get that. Now they just got to keep their foot on the pedal and keep it rolling.
Yeah, they do. That was a great start there. Peanut coming in, looking to put that one in, but a little bit awkward right here is this one. Throw it to the backboard. Here comes Peanut, and oh my goodness, Peanut. He is 2 for 2, sending it home.
This is the Ember that we saw on Wednesday. They're back. Whatever Brindy did to fix his internet or internet crash, and he fixed it, I don't know, but it's working. And they're out for revenge here. They said, you got 2. We already have your number. We beat you twice this season, and we're not going to give up easy. They're going to come out firing just like we expected, and this is turning to be a great series, a great game. And, Minotaurs now have to find a way to be able to counteract and, slow down the pace of game and not let Ember take control before this gets out of hand, because this could easily flip the other way like the Minotaurs had it in the first 2 games.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, we saw how Ember performed on Wednesday with their backs against the wall, pulling off that sweep. So they have the potential to win 3 games against other top contenders in a row here, and we'll have to see if they can do it as they're sending it in. This one a little bit awkward. Help. Gonna take control. Good control, but the ball is still floating up. Brindy has an opportunity. It's out the backboard. Here comes the follow, but Dale with a great touch. He could clear that one away as he's a Chad. Waits back there, but he can't find the touch. That one awkward. Shooting it towards it, but Peanut is going to make the save. Here comes Help now. Looking to fire it in, but Peanut, he's going to clear it out, but only so far as midfield. Here comes Dill, again throwing it out the backboard, forcing these tough saves again and again. As Minotaurs, a little bit of a double commit. Brindy is going to send it down, trying to push it through. Not quite going to find it. That one is Chad going to get it out, but Ember there on the defensive end that time. Speed, he will lock things down.
Locking it down, looking 100% different than they did in that game number 2. They kind of looked a little off on offense and defense, but they're figuring out. Here comes out a big demo from Chad, but there was 2 guys there and the other one's still able to get it. But they're looking really good here. They're playing on all cylinders. Minotaurs have had their opportunities as well, and you know they're looking good. But you know this Ember team, they're really coming out. As Brendy's gonna put that one just wide, as Peanut was also going for that demo on that goalie and unable to collide there. And you know we're almost halfway through this game. We got 3 minutes left, Rocker Man, and this is getting really exciting.
Yeah, and Ember holding on to that lead here, trying to force us to that game 4, get us to that Forbidden Temple, where we know anything can happen on that map. Seen it time and time again throughout the years. As this one is banging down, Help gonna look, take control, trying to find Blitz up there, but instead he's gonna find Peanut with a great clear, able to send it a long way, but only into the hands of a waiting Blitz. This is Chad trying to get on that one. The ball is gonna pop up high. Peanut trying to get to it. That one shot towards that is Chad. Gonna make the touch, able to clear it out, but a big missed touch. It's going the wrong way. It's actually just gonna go right into the net. There is Chad. Gonna lock it down, and Ember up 3-0 now.
Ember up 3-0, and it almost looks like, you know, they're kind of parking the bus a little bit here. They got that early lead. They know what's at stake. They've consistently had 2 men back, full of boost. They're playing it really smart. They know how to lock down a win. It may not be the prettiest way, but you get an early lead, you get 2 goals, and you can afford to, you know, park that bus, play extra offensive, because if they can't score, you can't lose at that point. So they got the mentality. Minotaurs just have to find a way to be able to break them down, and also not have those, you know, unfortunate mishaps where you get that, try to get that ball, keep it cleared in, and you accidentally hit it towards your own net.
Yeah, and I think that just goes to show with the pressure of Ember so far, as Brindy is just going to get that one out, going to get it by Blitz actually, and take control. And yeah, when you're Ember here, who have just turned on the pressure, almost a complete 180, you know, you can force the Minotaurs into those mistakes by playing too fast. And we saw that one on the last goal, and now a minute 20 remaining here. As Ember looking to hold on. This one fired off the backboard, looking for a follow, but it's going to go off of Peanut's car and in. Blitz is going to strike back.
And see, sometimes that's all you need is, you know, you need a little luck, a little help from the other team. Blitz making the great read. It looks like he was going to get that in even without Peanut's help. It looked like that might have snagged that bottom left corner. But, you know, that right there, that's what they needed to get this comeback started. You know, only down 2, still plenty of time, minute 15 left. They just need to be able to find another one pretty soon, and it gives them a lot of, you know, wiggle room to work with. Although, you know, if they lose this game, it's not the end of the world. They're still up 2-0 in the series as of right now, so.
Yeah, with a minute remaining, Ember now, once again, like you mentioned, got to park the bus here, try to hold on to their lead, or maybe find one more to extend it. But a 2-goal lead is decently safe in Rocket League, way safer than a 1-goal lead, where someone could score with any second, or with 0 seconds on the clock as well. 2 goals, they're gonna have to at least score with a second remaining. Gives you a lot of freedom here to be aggressive, to play the ball, and to pass the ball like that, but it's denied away. As Dill is gonna get that shot, they're gonna send it down. Help is hunting for a demo here. Not quite gonna find it. This ball popped up, dangerous, but again, another great touch by the Ember defense. As this one not gonna be connected on by the Minotaurs, as Ember gonna try to get it in the final seconds, taking away. Dill trying to get to this one. He's gonna be able to get it off to his corner, but once again, gonna score with at least a second remaining to try to force OT. It just is a Chad versus Help. He's gonna deny it away, send it off to the side, and that is gonna do it here for this game number 3. Speed. We find Ember, who strike back here with a great win, and they're gonna send us to a game 4 on Forbidden Temple.
Yes, they are. They looked, you know, they kind of turned it around 100% from how they had played in that game number 2. They looked really good. They looked solid. They played it smart. They weren't overcommitting, and I think they just kind of simpled down the game of Rocket League more. They were able to speed up the Minotaurs. They made a couple of mistakes. You saw that actually hurt them on one of them, the mistakes that they made. But other than that, Minotaurs didn't play bad. They just weren't expecting Ember to come out so hot, put on 2 early goals, which just kind of led them to having to put their foot on the gas. But they need to realize that this is, a marathon. It's not a race. Doesn't matter if you get the third win in game 5 or you get it in 3. They just need to be able to slow it down and really breathe here. But Ember did a great job bringing it back. Minotaurs, now they need to slow down and breathe and realize, hey, they got one. We're still in the driver's seat here. Just got to play our game.
Yeah, and I mean, they were in the driver's seat in games 1 and game 2. It looked like they had all the pressure going, but we saw that Ember squad able to battle back there in game number 3 with a pretty dominating game 3 win. And now we're gonna have to see, will it continue? Will Ember be able to find it, or will the Minotaurs be able to settle in here as they'll gonna get a little musty over the top of the defense? As Brindy is gonna set it down here, trying to find it. This one push towards net. Peanut has to make the touch for the ball floating. That one not going to be connected on. Peanut has an opportunity. He's looking for a teammate maybe, but not quite going to find it that time. As it's sent towards net here. Blitz trying to find another big dunk. We saw one earlier. Not going to see it this time. As right now the Minotaurs looking for it, and another miss here. Maybe uncharacteristic from what we saw in the first couple of games here, where the Minotaurs speed, they were looking so solid, but a couple of misplays here in the last game and a half.
Yeah, especially coming out from Dill. Dill, we've seen him hit 2 flip resets now, and the flip reset, one of them being that flip reset musty almost. So to see him go up for an aerial like that and just not even really be close to it is something that we're not expecting to come out from him. And this is where I say they really just need to breathe, relax. As that one going on, and that looked a little scary as Dill left it, but Help was able to make that one cleared out. As we're minute 15 in, scoreless, both teams having good opportunities, and I think this one's going to come down to who's going to strike first.
Yeah, the pressure is always huge on that first goal. I mean, both these teams, it can be such a difference as a big demo comes through. Brindy trying to get to it, but that one almost dunked in. Brindy with a great save on the goal line, able to clear it away. But that first goal, like I mentioned, it can mean so much for both these teams. The Minotaurs can kind of right the ship, if you will, here with a goal. They take back control, and Ember can keep things rolling, but this one opportunity could be flung off the crossbar again. And Minotaurs, they're trying everything. They're swinging, they're firing. It's off again, but Dill comes back around and puts it home.
Dill made up for his mistake. He fires an open net just high off the crossbar, and again, Dill, the Mechie one, coming out, hitting his second double tap, giving the Minotaurs the lead 2 minutes into this game. And they have to feel good after that one. It feels good. They're in the driver's seat. Got on match point here, Rocker Man. And now gonna put Ember back on their back foot, as we've seen them maybe have the little nerves come out already, as both Chad and Brindy with soft Mitch whiffs. But Chad gonna bounce back here and tie this one back up.
Yeah, another big miss here. Blitz trying to get up to that ball, but he can't. It is a Chad. Is just going to send it in, and Ember, it will not be denied quite yet. Their season, their hopes on the line, going to find their first goal of game number 4, and we're back at an even ball game. 1-1 here. Minotaurs win. They'll move on to face the undefeated Gladiators next week in the first round of the playoffs. Ember looking to try to meet that fate, but they're gonna need another win here in game 4 to try to force that game 5, pull off this reverse sweep. Brindy is gonna send it down. Dill out of the midfield. Is a Chad gonna find a big 50. This ball rolling in the corner. Is a Chad be blocked away by Help. Help on this one. Gonna flick it by Brindy. Peanut diving on this one. Gonna get it over the top of 1, maybe over the top of 2. He's trying to send it in here. Dill gonna find a touch, but here comes Brindy. Gonna be denied away. Is a Chad has to get up to that one. Able to keep it in. He's trying to keep the pressure on. Dropping it down. Here comes Brindy. Looking for his dynamic duo there, but not quite going to get that one on the net here. That time is Help. Going to pop this one up high. Here comes Dill. No one from Ember quite ready for that one. Dill into the corner. Peanut finds a touch. Help. Pushing this one towards the backboard, but is a Chad. Is there good defense by him? Able to clear that one out. Send right back in here. This ball popping up high. Dangerous ball pushed out in the midfield. Is a Chad on that one. It's flinging across. Here comes Blitz with the opportunity, but not able to get it down on target there. That's another demo. Can open up some space. Brindy gonna find a touch here. Is a Chad trying to get up to it. He can't connect. Peanut in an awkward spot there. The ball's floated across Brindy. Trying to get it out, but a great touch is gonna clear it away. And now Dill has to make the touch. He can't find it. Here comes Peanut again. Look at the demo. He's gonna shoot it in. Bottom right. Peanut sends it in, and Ember take the lead.
Lots of back and forth right there. Both teams threatening. Both teams just skating by some shots that are just wide or just high. And then Peanut's going to slot this one in. Beautiful shot. Late in the game, minute 18 left. They're fighting back. They want to go to game 5. They know they can handle it. And, you know, Rocker Man, it's all going to be right here. Peanut's really stepping up big time in this one.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Trying to see Peanut step big. We know about the dynamic duo of Brindy and Chad, but Peanut, he has stepped up big, and he wants to see some game 5 alerts here as they're looking forward to this one sent towards the net. Here comes Peanut once more, trying to find it in, but Dill is able to get the touch, able to drop it down. The Minotaurs, they still have time to work with here to try to avoid their fate of a game 5, and hopefully, for their sake, send it into OT at least. If not win in regulation, help. He can't connect though. This ball is out of the midfield. Gonna be pushed down. Brindy versus Dill. Brindy trying to find the 50. Peanut was trying to get to it. That one gonna be pinched back, and is Chad forced to use a lot of his boost to try to find that touch. Blitz off the corner. Double commit comes through as Dill sends that one out. Brindy trying to race to it. Only 20 seconds remaining. Minotaurs trying to find something. This ball is gonna be popped up. Help. Out of the midfield. Blitz is gonna send down Peanut. He cuts it off quickly, but that ball is dangerous. There's no one back. It's gonna be 50 away. Brindy on the goal line. He somehow saves it away as we're down in the final seconds now. Minotaurs looking to force that game 5. They're looking to avoid the game 5. Ember looking to force it here. Peanut throwing it off the backboard. This one just has touched the ground. Is a Chad gonna fire it? He's gonna hit the ground, and we will head to game number 5.
Game number 5, Minotaurs, Ember. The 3rd time they've played each other this season. 2nd time they're going to be going to game number 5. Minotaurs had him in the first half. Ember so far here in the second half. And this is definitely going to be one crazy of a game number 5. And I can honestly see this game being scoreless, going to overtime, or it just being a 1-0 game ending in regulation. I think both teams are going to be, you know, really smart, have some really good plays, but the defense, I think on this game, you're going to see a lot of insane defense because they know every goal matters and they're not going to even want to let up one.
Yeah, they're not going to want to let up one. And honestly, Speed, despite some of the score margin in the series, I feel like every single game, the shots have been so close. So these two teams, they have just been neck and neck all series long. Ember trying to pull off the reverse sweep. I mean, it just comes down to who's going to find this first goal, who's going to start things off well for their team.
Yeah, it really is. First goal is huge. It always is huge. You know, especially in these game 5s where, you know, your season could be over. So first goal is really important. You control the pace of the game with that first goal. It's just going to be huge. And that's why I say that I think defense is going to be really massive in this one. You're going to see some really, really good defensive plays here.
Well, we're going to have to see the game 5 here. Everything is on the line for these two teams. Ember trying to pull off the reverse sweep against their division rival. As Speed mentioned, they've bested them twice this season. Can they do it a 3rd time in spectacular fashion? We're going to have to see. Can Minotaurs be able to bring it back? This ball off to the side, help. Sending it down towards the net, help. Trying to stay with it. Off the backboard, this ball pinching down. Not quite ready, Dill. This one drops off. There, Peanut looking to fire it, but Blitz is going to find that touch. Able to bang it away. Brindy the Blade holding on to this one. He pops it out, but here comes Dill trying to send it in. 50 can take it only so far as the corner here. Ball pinched out. Help now. Sending it in. Ember, a little bit awkward. Peanut, a little bit risky, but going to send it across his net. Able to be cleared away as Dill is trying to get to that one. Sent in. Blitz able to push it down, and a minute in Speed here. Both these teams looking for their one opportunity, trying to be perfect, trying not to make the mistake that could end your season. We may have found one.
Here it is. Oh, is it Chad with the opportunity to put Ember up early in this game number 5. And I think that's where the pressure came in. But Peanut is going to put Ember up 1-0 early on here. Even after that, little mistake there by Chad, it don't matter.
Wow, and Ember really feel themselves now, and you mentioned seeing Peanut stepping up. That's who they wanted to see. And Speed, now the Minotaurs are in a very, very tough spot here. And they not only, find themselves down 1-0 in this game 5, but the momentum has just completely swung the other way.
Yeah, it really has. Momentum's huge in Rocket League. We've seen it before, and here it is. We're seeing it again. But this is one thing I think that you'll see here out of Dill, Help, and Blitz, as Dill is trying to put one on, is they don't really care about momentum. Yes, it's huge, but they're still going to come out. They're still playing hard. They're still playing like they were, early in the series. It's just Ember changed up their play style just slightly, and they still haven't able to quite figure it out yet. So, I'm interested to see in the final 3 minutes here if they're able to, really make that comeback, or is Ember just going to keep putting their foot on the gas as they are continuing to do so?
Yeah, no, Ember has definitely put the pedal to the metal here, find themselves with the lead, but the Minotaurs, they just really gotta cut down on the mistakes. There's been so many of them here. I feel like they're panicked, in my opinion here, at least in the last couple games. They gotta find something to quell the waves here and try to bring it back. This one, not gonna be the one there, Blitz with a backflip. Not gonna be able to take it anywhere you wanted to. This ball pops up. It's a Chad coming in, firing, but Dill is there on the corner, able to send it out, trying to get another touch. This one off the backboard. Blitz is going to find a touch, and right now, Minotaurs getting suffocated in their own zone, trying to find a way to break out. There you go, Help is going to get it by 2 here. It's just Brindy in there. Help, trying to find a touch, going to pop it by 1. Ball is floating, but is the Chad with a great challenge, able to send it away as Dill taking to the corner, dropping this one down. Peanut going to come through, finding a touch. Is a Chad just putting the pressure on. His Blitz is going to send it away. Brindy now on this one, looking to stay with it. Brindy coming in for the dunk, but it's going to be blocked away. Another save coming through, but Speed still. The Minotaurs, they got to look for something here to try to break through on the offensive end, as they just haven't been able to get out of their zone.
No, we've seen a lot from Dill so far from the Minotaurs in this series, but I really haven't seen too much from Help, and I need to see something from Help. We just saw him try to get something going. He did do an air dribble all the way down to the other end of the field. Wasn't able to get that pinch middle, but Dill putting one on, but Chad making a great save, and Help putting this one middle again for his team. It's there. Dill, they're able to finish it up and ties it up with 1:12. Rocker man.
Oh my goodness, and the Minotaurs, they finally break through there. A little miss comes through, and Dill, he's made so many great shots here in this one. He sends another one in, 1-1 with 1:12 remaining. Season is on the line for both these two teams. It's win or go home here. So we're in the play-in tournament finale. Winner gets a face against the Gladiators. That's a missed touch there, but it's going to be saved away. But will this one, it's a soft shot. It's going to be punched away. A minute now left in game number 5. Who is going to make the next play in a battle of these division rivals? This ball popped up now. Blitz. It's going to set it down. Brindy dropping this one. Help. Going to take control, taking his time. Going to flick it by 1. Good patience there. Ember. They're going to find a clear back. Blitz. Got to make the touch here. It's right down into Brindy. Brindy going to pop into Peanut off the corner. Can we see Chad flying through the air? He's trying to find it, but oh my goodness, Dill on the goal line. He makes a save. And now Ember, they're still trying to answer back. Looking for another touch. That one is going to be cleared away. And with only 20 seconds left, we might see overtime here. This one fired across. It's going to pop out of the midfield again. Peanut. Gonna leave that one for Brindy. Actually, Peanut gonna take control. Not a lot of boost though. Final seconds of regulation. Help is up there, firing it towards the net. Dill trying to find that redirect. As the Minotaurs looking to keep it in. Last chance here in regulation. The ball is up. Minotaurs looking to fire there, but this one is gonna be pinched down. Chad looking to find that touch, but Dill, he's actually gonna keep it up. Dill is trying to find it. Looking to fire it towards the net, but it's gonna hit the ground. And Speed overtime in game 5.
Game 5, season on the line. Season for the Minotaurs currently is on Dill's back with that huge squishy save. He's had some great plays in this one so far. We really are going to need to see him step up in this overtime. I think if Minotaurs want to see, the light of day, and here on the other side for Ember,
Peanut.
as Dill puts one on, that's the man right there that needs to, have a great overtime here is Peanut for Ember. He's really stepped up here and really turned the tides here for the Ember squad. And I think it's going to be a battle between Peanut and Dill here in this overtime.
Who is going to make that play for their team here against their rivals? And they push themselves into the playoffs. Brindy trying to get to this one. Blitz looking for another touch, trying to find the bump. Is a Chad. He's going to send it off to the side. This ball loading. Is a Chad. May have caught the defense off guard. It could be an opportunity. Blitz racing back. It's going to go in. Is a Chad. It's going to end. And Ember with a reverse sweep to move on.
Is a Chad doing Is a Chad things. Big body clear. And actually forces Blitz to double tap that into his own net just by creating that pressure that Is a Chad does so well. And having to make them make that play, and Ember able to get that reverse sweep, keep their season alive. Now you earned yourself a date with the undefeated Gladiators. you
Wow.
played well in the play-in series. You looked really good. Now you got to play out of your mind. They can't have a slow start like they did in this one tonight against those Gladiators, because that's going to be a real tough series to try to pull back if you go down 2 games, let alone 3, and try to pull off another reverse sweep.
Yeah, and I mean, what an impressive performance from Ember right there, able to battle back. And speed, like we mentioned, it's not easy to do when you have to battle against a divisional opponent. You beat them twice, and usually the third time, it's so difficult to get that third win. And Ember, I mean, they did it in spectacular fashion with that reverse sweep.
Yeah, they did. We've seen it. I don't know how many times I can recall. I can't recall the exact teams, but I remember talking about it, casting it, watching it. You hear about divisional rivals meet up in the playoffs. Oh, this team, they're a higher seed or whatever the case may be. They beat them twice already this season. They just beat them a couple weeks ago at the end of the season. And then you go and see the team that, lost both times in the regular season come out on top. So this is really hard to do, beat a team 3 times in the season without losing.
Yeah, definitely so. And well, Ember, they pulled it off. And as Speed mentioned, they have got a date with the 18-0 Gladiators in the first round. We wish them the best of luck and congratulate Ember and Minotaurs. Minotaurs, a great season from them, unable to quite make it out of that intense playing tournament. But Ember, happy to move on. And speaking of moving on, that's what we're going to have to do in just a few minutes here. We are going to be heading to the Challenger League, where we've got another team that is no stranger to the reverse sweep. Venom, they just pulled it off on Wednesday, and now they're going to be taking on the race here. Winner is going to move on to face Orbit in round 1. That one is going to be coming up in a few minutes, so make sure you stick around, and we'll see you guys in a few.